How's things your way? How was your holiday?
Oh, it's great. Yeah, just spend time with my family and some surf we have here. 1-2 foot. That's my jam.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, especially on those two boards now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's what they're made for is for those, kind of smaller, weaker days. So you're set.
Yeah. Do you remember anything about it?
The one that you just got, it was from the
Yeah.
Mollusk batch 4 years ago.
Mhm. They do ride differently a little bit. The one you shaped for me, this one has more performance. It has a little bit more hold when I do turns,
Yes.
and has a little more lift too. And this one is skate glidey.
Your observations make a lot of sense because they're shaped from different blanks. When I shaped you your custom, we had met at the Pilgrim fish fry and talked about doing a board there. And I wasn't able to custom order the blank for your board ahead of time. I normally shape the Mini Super from a particular blank, and the guys at Kings did not have that particular blank available that day. So I had to work with what was on hand. But the short version is that your board that I made custom for you has a little bit, just a little bit more tail rocker than the standard blank that I would use. But it makes, consequently, you're going to be able to turn tighter in the pocket and more vertically up the face more easily than on a lower tailed rockered board, which is more standard for that shape. I like boards just generally that trim really well. And that means when you just stand there, the board wants to go down the line without any input from the rider. And the very simple way to achieve that is just really flat rockers. And in particular, the Mini Super being designed for smaller, softer waves, those really flatter rockers help just with trim speed. So you can just stand there and not have to pump the board, and it'll just want to gain speed on its own. And there's a couple other factors that go along with that, including the aspect ratio of the template and the bottom contour as well. Yeah, yours is definitely more of a double concave. The Mollusk one is much more of a single concave. Both will create like a feeling of lift in your back foot, and that creates something that you can push off of and create thrust from. It makes it a responsive um, feel off of your back foot in when you're pumping the board. The whole template's very wide, but by splitting the concave into a double from that single, the idea was to help it go rail to rail a little bit more easily than the single would feel.
A lot of different things you can tweak to make it magical.
Yeah, totally. It's like that's the kind of the magic and also the addicting part of shaping for me is like that they are kind of deceptively complex objects where, to most people, every surfboard kind of looks like another surfboard, but you can really spend a lot of time and energy trying to make minute adjustments to each of those factors. And you do definitely feel a difference in how the board behaves. So it's a fun game to play and see.
I get so many positive feedbacks from everyone who ordered and got the Mini Super from Wisconsin, from Aaron, and yeah, it's like he's pretty stoked, and I see him like cruising. It's so easy on those waves. I actually really want to go and surf my board over there, see how that
Now it's
goes.
wild, right? The Great Lakes is just such a core surf scene. I've heard amazing things. I've had some friends travel there and surf them, and it's a real dedicated group to get out on fresh water and tiny waves in freezing weather like that. But respect,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It looks actually better than what we have here in the ocean. Sometimes it's like he's
Oh, I
going
know.
for
Yeah, like that
20
guy
plus
Aaron's
seconds.
clips. The waves actually look pretty fun. I'm amazed. Yeah.
Yeah. Question: how does the glassing affect the ride? This one is very light glassing. The one for Mollusk is heavier. It glides way easier on the flats.
Yeah, definitely. I would expect the Mollusk one to be glossed heavier. Yours is a sanded hot coat finish, which is really light, whereas the Mollusk one has a sanded gloss coat finish, which is an extra layer of just pure resin that gets sanded. Um, Adds a minimal amount of weight to a board, but it increases the durability. And especially with color work, that's a standard way of finishing a board is a sanded gloss. Most stock boards I shape for any surf shops, I actually just do a sanded gloss finish instead of a sanded hot coat for all of those reasons. It's more durable. It's more user friendly in those ways, like in that it carries its speed and it will dampen any kind of imperfection in the wave face. So yeah, just a um, small step that makes a little bit more of a difference in those kind of ways.
Did you get a chance to watch those clips I sent you?
Yeah, I just watched those just a minute ago. Yeah. You had the first one that was on the custom, the 5.4, and then there was the side by side clip, and then the other two. In that first clip on the 5.4, I had noticed it did seem like you had to work the board a little bit more to put it where you wanted it and kind of have a little bit more input as far as pumping the board and kind of but it did want to take a tighter line, like it did want to draw a more tight line on the wave face, but it also required you to pump the board a little bit more and put your input on it. The 5.3 definitely appeared to glide a little better by my eye as well, so I think it kind of confirmed what we've been talking about, that the 5.3 is that flatter rocker, a little bit thicker foil, a little bit more glidey feeling shape or looking shape as well. That boards that do have that inherent kind of trim to them tend to, for average surfer, we're not, you and I are not Kelly Slater, unfortunately, but that is what it is. So when you do have a board that does trim more easily, it does tend to smooth out your style a bit, because you can just let the board do the work and gain speed on its own, and then it's a matter of harnessing that speed and using that speed to your advantage and projecting it, rather than trying to constantly mash on the board and gain speed by pumping and so on, which can look really frantic and kind of bad, from like a visual standpoint. So like I find that when people get on boards that do have an inherent glide to them, they're kind of stoked in that way too, of like, it just tends to smooth out their style a little bit and let that board do that work for them.
Wow, yeah, totally agree. Less is more.
Yeah, always.
And question about the fins, because when I tested two boards side by side, like in the same session, I put into my 5.4 uprights pretty much, and uprights the same fins here, but I do feel I need some kills in this board.
Agreed. Yeah, the placements on those are definitely for a kill fin. Yeah. I like the True Aims Hobie keel.
Okay,
quite a bit.
I'll check it out.
Yep.
They move definitely differently a little bit, but in any case, it will get you stoked. That's the more important part.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you so much for all your contribution, for your time to get on this call, for shaping these boards, making people happy, being able to really give them more waves and fun and stoke.
Heck yeah. My pleasure.
Happy New Year to you and your family.
Yeah, and, Happy New Year, Yuri. It's great to talk to you, and thank you again for the support, and love hearing your impressions on everything, and yeah, appreciate the call.
Yep. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. See you later. Bye.
See you. Bye.